Hey guys, how's it going? Just recording a quick video of Prison Architect as a little bit of a let's look at sort of video. So I've been playing this game for ages now. I've owned it for I guess like over a year probably. I think this is Alpha 29, and normally you wouldn't start at this screen. I think is it definitely yeah, it's Alpha 29. I think normally you start with his introduction, which I haven't actually done in a while, so I might have a look at. I'll probably skip it, but you kind of get this little intro video, and it basically teaches you a few of the mechanics of how to build and stuff. I mean, in general, like the building aspect is like mechanically nothing's very difficult. The, the I guess the difficulty comes more from strategy. I guess like I don't know if strategy is the right word, but definitely planning and stuff. Like how you plan out your prison and plan out where you're gonna have guard patrols and like what times you're gonna like you're gonna let people have free time, or are they gonna be like kind of working all the time and then in lockup, or sort of stuff like that. Like how you're gonna plan out like how the policy, I guess, of how your prison runs. That's really the stuff that kind of gets confusing. Not confusing, but like I guess adds to the game a lot. Um, this little video kind of just plays. I'll let this play just while we're kind of discussing stuff. But yeah, so I wanted to kind of show everyone this game. I assume most people have heard of it by now. It's been out for like ever. It's still an alpha. It's Alpha 29. They basically do an alpha update every single month, which is pretty cool. They've been really consistent with it so far. They've done an alpha update every month, and sometimes it's not heaps of add-ons. Sometimes it'll be like they'll just be fixing a lot of bugs and stuff like that. But usually they add sort of one new feature or something. So this prison colony facility has been convicted of double murder and sentenced to death. Oh yeah, so I think this little intro mission, they just basically want you to build a facility to execute him, and yeah, it basically just runs through how to actually build stuff, which is all this sort of stuff. I probably won't bother too much with this because I'm just doing like a little let's play. So once you finish this, it kind of you know kicks you into a new game. So you basically can create a new prison. I would probably do these. I think, yeah, I think these are like the fairly standard ones. You can make the plot medium, small, large. Doesn't really matter. I'd probably say small. And then, yeah, you kind of play like this. Fog of War you can turn off. I actually quite like it. I think it really adds to the game. It basically is just if you don't have guards or staff somewhere, you can't see there. You need to have CCTV cameras, or you need to have guard patrols, or you basically just need someone to kind of go around that area of the prison to, or like you need to have a camera that a guard is watching. That's the other thing is like the CCTV cameras link up to like a little station in the guard room, and if no guards, like if you don't have a guard stationed there to watch the cameras, then they don't like they still work, but you don't actually see anything. So this is kind of the standard. So we'll just hit play. And it starts like we saw before, just with like this sort of empty field. I highly recommend using the planning tool, just to like, plan out buildings and stuff like that. And then basically like all this sort of stuff's locked. And I'll probably switch to another prison in a second just to kind of show you guys a bit more what's going on. But honestly, at the very start, I would do this as well. Go into this reports menu down here, go to prisoners, and turn off prisoner intake. What this will mean is if we do that, so our prison is now closed, so you won't get any prisoners, because it really sucks. Like, you've only got basically 23 hours, a bit over 23, you got 24 hours, essentially. Because prisoners will arrive at 8 AM the next day, so you've got 24 hours to build a prison. And if you don't have one, then your prisoners just come when they escape, and it's really shit. The other thing in here is grants, so you can accept these, and they'll give you some money up front. You see it says 20,000 advance payment, so you'll get 20 grand in advance, and then once you complete all the objectives, you'll get 10 grand. So they're pretty useful. The other big thing is it's not going to show up because we don't have this, but I'll show you on one of my other prisons. But once you build a prison, you can actually go to this I think it's valuation, yeah, and you basically sell your prison, and you'll get that same new game screen like this one. But you'll get down here, it'll say like you basically have to start with more money because you basically sell the prison you made for say like right now we start with 30 grand, but you could sell that prison for 100 grand, and then the next time you start start with 100 grand, so you can kind of build a better prison off the bat. Is the idea anyway. So let's just say we want to build some really basic stuff. Let's go into this grants thing, and we'll accept this basic detention center, and we'll build this one, and then I'll kind of show you guys some of the other stuff. So at the very start, we start with our like workmen coming along. We've got deliveries here and garbage. These are essentially rooms, even though they're not actually like inside. Some rooms don't need to be inside, like things like the yard, if I can find it. Yard. There it is. Yeah, so you see this room just needs to be 5 by 5 and behind, secure behind at least one door. So you just need to have a fence around it. So yeah, it's pretty easy. So here, for example, we need a basic holding cell, a shower, a yard, a kitchen, a canteen, 2 guards, and 2 cooks. So that shouldn't be too bad. So let's just go into this planning tool. We'll get rid of all this. And you just right click. Basically in this game, like left click is to place things, right click is to remove things. Pretty much the case for everything. So let's have a look at our rooms, and our holding cell needs 5 by 5. Okay. So we'll go into planning, and we'll build. Maybe we'll make a big holding cell. Go something like 10 by 10. And then next to our holding cell, we will do some showers. They probably don't need to be that big, really. Showers probably couldn't be that big. Yeah, it's probably fine. And then what else did we need? We need a yard. Okay, so the yard can go like somewhere along here, I guess. We'll go a fairly big yard. I mean, I kind of don't want them to all freak out and like just murder everyone. That's the thing as well. You can actually have prison riots, which is like pretty dangerous. Maybe we go a bit smaller. It's not like we're gonna have that many people. So we've got that. We've got a yard. We need a kitchen and a canteen. So we'll probably put our kitchen and our canteen down here. And we'll kind of split that. So that can be our kitchen. Yeah, that should be fine. And then we'll probably need to put like a fence around this whole thing. I need 2 guards and 2 cooks. So that's not too bad. So let's start time up again. And we'll build a foundation. So you have to, every part of building, you have to basically build a foundation first. And you can build with bricks or concrete. It doesn't really seem to matter. I pretty much always go bricks just because they look nicer to me. As far as I know, like from what everyone's ever told me, there's no actual like difference between them. It's just basically whichever one you want. Another good thing is you can drag your deliveries a bit bigger, and you'll see like as in Alpha 29 they added this basically. Whereas if the trucks pull up and they're all next to like adjacent to deliveries, they'll deliver. So if only one truck is here and you've only got like this small little area as your deliveries, then it'll only deliver there. But here we could probably get 3 trucks unloading all at once, which is pretty damn handy. And so now we've got like all this sort of stuff. We require an entrance, so you go into objects, and we will add a jail door. We're actually add a big one because that's going to be our. This is going to be our holding cell, so we'll add a double-sized jail door there. Another thing they added, this is a while back now, but the jail doors will actually stay open until prisoners come. Once prisoners come, the jail doors will close, and you'll need a guard to open them for you. But before then, they will actually stay open, which isn't too bad. So now I've got this, you're kind of like, well, that doesn't help because it's one big room. But we just go into our materials, click on our brick wall, and we can quite easily separate them out. So we'll go in here as well, and we'll make a large jail door. What was this again? This is going to be our yard, wasn't it? Probably didn't want this to be quite so big, actually, now I think about it. Because I probably would have wanted the yard outside. It doesn't really matter, you can have the yard inside, it doesn't really affect anything. So let's go and we'll demolish walls, those 2 walls. And then I guess I'll just put a large jail door in here. And we'll put this over here like this. Okay, now let's go to our rooms. And we'll make this into our holding cell. The other good thing is once you make it into a holding cell, it does actually tell you what like parts it's failing. So this can be our yard. And what do we need? A shower? Yeah, so that can be a shower. The other thing as well you notice is that we're getting these sort of power things. You do actually need to put power generators and things like that down. So in the meantime though, let's make a little fence around this area. And the fence is pretty cheap, so it sort of doesn't really hurt to use the fence tool. I'd actually almost probably recommend using it. Definitely later on, you definitely want something better, like perimeter wall or something. Perimeter wall is very expensive. You see, it's 200 meters per square. This is $3 per square, so 300, yeah, $200 per square. This is $3 per square. So it's definitely a lot cheaper to use that. Now I'm gonna put a jail door there, and I'm gonna get rid of this planning because that's annoying me. The other thing is I'm gonna actually just click on this and set it to locked open. You can like have a guard always open it, but I don't know, for the yard and stuff, and same for like this, I'll probably do the same. I like having a door there because once you go into this deployment, it does separate this as a separate area. Whereas if you just had like a gap, it would just count as always one area. So the other thing, so now we've got a shower. We want to put in. The thing I like is when you actually go over areas. So yeah, like these are all like all not lit up. But if we go to an area, it actually does light up like the items that it thinks that area requires. So in here we need some drains. And then we need some shower heads. So let's put in some shower heads. There we go. And over here, we'll put in some utilities. So let's get a water pump going. And a power station. Now the power station, you kind of need to have a bit more of a room on the outside. You'll see in a minute, but basically the default power station doesn't actually supply that much power. You need to add capacitors to it so that it actually does kind of, supply enough to be useful. So we're going to need here a toilet and a bench. So let's go to our toilet. And we'll put a couple of toilets. Put like 3 toilets in there. And we'll put a bench there, and a bench there. And now, you see like this has got like one little bar basically. If we go to utilities. And first of all, we'll drag that over there. And I don't like that one there. It doesn't really matter, you don't have to get rid of it, I just like to. Let's add 3 capacitors. I doubt we'll need more than that. But you'll see this is already at like half power just from powering the water pump. But as soon as this goes down, you'll see what I end up with. It's got basically 2. So that's doubled, that's tripled, and that's right now this is basically like 4 power stations all in one. Each capacitor adds like a full bar, which is pretty damn useful. So let's go into our utilities again. And now we kind of want to drag this down into here probably. We could probably get away with not having it all the way down there, but it's probably easier just to do it like that. And let's make this a foundation. And we're going to put a staff door in our kitchen. Another thing is you can get like prisoners, like once you get some of the once you get the officers and stuff like that, and start researching some of the stuff that's in bureaucracy, which I'll show you guys in a bit. You can actually make your prisoners work in places like the kitchen or the laundry or the workshop and stuff like that. But I actually almost never get my prisoners to work in the kitchen. I kind of leave it exclusively to chefs, which are in here somewhere. Yeah, cook. Just because like the kitchen's great for them to work in because it obviously is like free labor, but you run into the problem of. So I'm surprised it didn't destroy those. Oh, there they go. You run into the problem that, like, there's a lot of contraband that can come through the kitchen, because like food gets delivered basically and then just gets taken to the kitchen, and that's sort of it. Like unless you have like a really good like a couple of guard dogs like sniffing all of your food constantly to make sure that anything coming in gets detected before it gets to the kitchen. Otherwise, you can really run into issues where you're just kind of giving like all your prisoners like free contraband to eat really easily. They don't really have to do much for it. So I generally try to stay away from it just because, I don't know, it seems a bit dangerous to me. Alright, now here we go. So this is interesting. So basically the way pipes work is you have large pipes that carry water a long distance, pretty much unlimited distance I think. And then small pipes which only carry like, I think it's 16 squares they can carry. But they are the only ones that can connect to things. So your large pipe won't actually connect to these these shower heads, for example, you have to use small pipe. Which, for example, we can probably just do it more like this. But I might get rid of that, because we need that to go like over there. So you could just link these all as one, doesn't really matter. Hopefully that should go when they install that. Yep. Cool. So that means our holding cell is basically ready now. Our yard could use some stuff in there. So the main things I usually put in a yard are like phone booths. TVs actually work really well, surprisingly. Like, they really enjoy watching TV. So we put a bench down here. And we'll put a couple of weight benches as well. And then down here, we need to obviously get rid of these because they're annoying me. But then we need to make these into a kitchen and a canteen. So kitchen, canteen. And then obviously it'll tell you what it needs and everything. I'm gonna put a staff door here. So staff doors are basically just like, they're not very strong, so prisoners, if you do have a riot, prisoners can break through them fairly easily. They're just a simple door that has a, that just needs a staff key. So jail doors, only guards can open, but staff doors, any of your staff can open. So they're fairly useful for that. So you need a cooker, a fridge, and a sink. So it should be fairly easy. So we'll put a sink up here. And we'll put two fridges and 2 cookers, I think. And then if we come over here, what do we need here? We need a serving table, a table, and a bench. So let's go into our table. Now let's go our bench first. So a bench there and a bench there, a bench there and a bench there, and then a table and a table, and a serving table over here. It's gonna be too big for the fit there, but we can fit one here. The other thing as well, like, you probably shouldn't, but you can, like, stack these, like, just on top of each other. They don't actually need a space in front of them. The guys will just kind of walk over them. So that's not too bad. So let's go one more of these, I think. Yeah. A table like that. And that should be good. Just for our starting prison. Again, like, holding cells as well, like, this is a bad example, because holding cells are just not a good idea. Like, people just get pissed off being all clustered together. You definitely want to build individual cells and like things like solitary confinement. But you'll see there's a ton of different rooms you can get. You get basically like morgue, security, infirmary, cleaning cupboards, forestry, armory, kennel. Classrooms are good. You basically can have reform programs in, where are they? Policy, I think? No, programs. Basically get reform programs and, you know, basically teach people don't be dickheads and don't kill people. So let's bring our power down to, well, bring it down to here, I guess. And into here. And we need to bring our water pipe down here as well. I might as well just bring it over there. And you can hire more workmen. Can make things go a little bit faster. So we could hire 2 more workmen. The thing to be aware of is, like, that's your daily cash flow. So it costs $500 to hire one off the bat. And then it's $100 per day, so your daily kind of funds will go down, which can be an issue. I thought I told these guys to build a door there. Maybe they didn't though. Let's have a look. Okay, I guess there's something there then, because... Oh, there it is, okay. I was like, pretty sure I told these guys to build a door, but... So anyway, let's go to our prisoners, and let's just let in some low-risk prisoners. So you see, we're going to get 8 prisoners arriving in 13 hours. So right now, we've actually got like a working prison. It's not a very good prison, but it is definitely working. So if we go to staff, and we hire 2 guards, and then we need 2 cooks as well, so hire 2 cooks, and you'll see that'll complete that grant. So we can go into our grants menu again. And I think you can only have 2 grants at a time. Yeah, your accountant can raise the limit to 3. But yeah, this is sort of stuff like you'd have to get an administration center, just build 2 offices, hire a warden. So we might start that while we wait for these guys to arrive. So you're going to build 2 offices, hire a warden, unlock finance. So, pretty sure offices are 4x4. Yeah, office 4x4. So we might build our offices up here. So I like to go into the planning tool again, just to like make things easy. So we need an office that is 4x4. So that's not going to cut it, is it? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it needs to be 1 up, 2, 3, 4. So like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that'll be fine. So let's do that. And then 1, 2. So okay, so this can go in like this. And then do I want a hallway here? Probably, but I think I'll just leave it like that for the moment. And the other thing is if you build a foundation like this, that bottom layer is actually going to get cut off because it realizes that there's a wall there already. It doesn't bother making it, which is quite nice. Staff doors are a little bit more expensive than regular doors. So I think I would still build them though for our warden and our accountant. Don't really want them to get like shanked. Technically, like the prisoner shouldn't be able to come out of here at the moment, but you never know. This is a pretty unsecure prison as it is at the moment, so. So let's go into our materials, and we'll build the dividing wall. And now we want to go into rooms, office, there it is. And we'll make 2 offices, and you'll see they need an office desk, a chair, and a filing cabinet. So make an office desk, a chair, and a filing cabinet. And they also need some power. So I'll just drag this guy along here, it should be good enough. And you'll see that we're about to get some new prisoners. 11 minutes, so let's slow down time a little bit. And here they are. Here's our new minimum security prisoners. And actually click on them and find out a bit about them. You can see how much time they've got serving. Like they've served this, they've got these convictions. You can sort of see if they've got any, like sometimes you'll get like reputation, like it'll say, we need a psychologist though to show their actual needs, but yeah, you can kind of get a bit of an info. Like some of them have like interesting kill is he's fun and he will never stop. Interesting. Just a young guy, didn't do anything wrong but got arrested. So some of these are auto-generated by the game. Some of them are actually like people have paid money to like have their own sort of characters in the game. So apparently 14,516 people have paid money to have like, and it's not necessarily their person, but it's like someone they've made. Like they've decided I want this sort of name in the game. So you have like, you know, this guy. So you can actually transfer them in, like say if you had friends that had their names, you could specifically ask for them to come into the game. But otherwise, it's sort of just like a massive list of random people. Like I think, so there's Josh the Gamer. Jailed for crimes against video games. Very dangerous. Approach with caution. Yeah, so I think it's kind of cool that, you know, if you did have friends playing the game and they had their names, you could actually like have a prison that only your friends are in. Is this guy gonna like ever get around to doing that? They're being held up because they don't have any guards to let them in. So that's the thing, once you get prisoners, all these start getting locked, which is somewhat of a pain because it does stop you having so let's make a warden. Sometimes I just decide to go into different offices, I don't really know why. But you'll see this does open this bureaucracy menu, which we then can research finance, maintenance, and security. And you'll see, like, basically this guy just starts researching finance. So the warden is mostly just used to unlock everything else. As far as I know, he doesn't do too much. I think there is, oh, that's right, in Alpha 29 they added parole, so you can actually make, where's a parole room, and it's run by your chief of security, the warden, and I think, and the lawyer. The prisoner's a lawyer. So the prisoner's lawyer just arrives on scene, he comes to that, but then your warden and your chief of security both go to it. And that can be dangerous, because they can, if they're told they're not getting parole, they can just jump up and start stabbing your warden and stuff like that. But hopefully that's kind of giving you guys a bit of an overview of the game, and kind of like what it is. It's a bit hard to explain, because there is like definitely a lot of stuff you can do in the game. So, just on that note, I'm going to load up a couple prisons. So I think this is my prison ages ago that I had. Which is pretty much the same. This is like from a few alphas ago, I think. I've got a bunch of solitary in here. Like, I think this was technically my Yeah, so that's the thing as well. Like, so if you go to deployment, you can actually see like, I've got all these guard patrols. Like, so there's like patrol with guards on them, those guards, and then that's like an armed guard. Uh, like, dogs. Like, obviously you can have like guys with dogs. We've got actual guards here, and then if we go into our utilities, you can see like I've actually got 2 power supplies, just because I needed like extra power to run these. Um, Logistics is just sort of showing you like you can set these up as like work, so like how many people work in them. So when like go into here just to show you guys. So these are our policies. You can kind of set them however you want. You can kind of say like, look, too bad. Like you did something bad. You get in solitary. Regime is like minimum, normal, maximum. So you can like kind of schedule them out so that they're not like mine's basically maximum security is never showering at the same time as normal and minimum security. Presumably because maximum security try to shank the crap out of most of the minimum security guys. Here's your needs menu. You can kind of see like hygiene, your prisoners, and your staff, things like that. Here's our programs. These are like what I was talking about before. Like, you got workshop safety, carpenters, foundation education, things like that. Like, you can kind of just start and stop and reschedule and do stuff like that. And here's the evaluation thing I was saying. So I've already sold this prison, so I can't sell it again. Um, but yeah, I basically built this prison from 30k and then slowly built it up to this, and you can sell it for 340, and then kind of move on to your next prison. And I think this is the prison I'm working on at the moment. Should be anyway. So this is still definitely like work in progress. I don't even think I have prisoners yet. Like I think I'm still kind of planning it out and how I want to build it and stuff. But this is kind of where I'm going at the moment. I think I was gonna make this as visitation. I think because I always run into problems where like later I never have a big enough visitation, or I never have a big enough like infirmary and stuff. Like I start the game and I'm like, okay, cool. And then I make this tiny little visitation, and it's like, well, that's not big enough now. And same with like canteen and stuff. Like, I always try to make a massive canteen now, because you see, like, I've got 815 grand. Like, if I try to evaluation it, yeah, it's a million, a bit over a million. So yeah, it's sort of like that game where you kind of actually end up always making new prisons because you kind of always think, oh shit, I could have totally done something way better. And now let me load up. I should have. I think it's under extras, prison sharing. Yeah, I think it's in here. Yeah, so there's a few that I subscribed to just for this video basically, just to kind of show you guys like the crazy prisons that some people actually make. So this one's probably gonna be massive because it's downloading for ages. Normally it's downloading in like 2 seconds. But these are two just on the front of the Steam Workshop. So there's a lot of mods and stuff, but you can also add your you can also share your prison sort of thing. So if we go to this. Okay, so he must have a whole bunch of mods on, but fair enough. But you'll see, like, he's got this crazy, like, prison going on. Like, all his staff room, workshop, like, he's got all these, like, floors are all nicely done. He's got a bunch of canteens. This is crazy. Like, all of these, I don't even know desks, like, actually helped in prisons, but these are his cells, so they're massive cells. But on the plus side, he's always have, like, showers, drains. He's have showers, toilets, like, TVs, like, a phone booth, a chair, like, so you can get, like, a lot of comfort out of these rooms. And they don't really need to go, like, I mean, I don't actually know if he has a shower, even. He might not even bother. Yeah, because as long as they've all got them in their room, then while they're in lockup and stuff, it'll kind of count anyway. You see here we've got like a chapel, which has a bunch of multi-faith stuff going on. So we've got a chapel, common room, and classroom all like crammed together. It's a bit weird, yeah, but it's still a pretty cool prison, and it shows you kind of like what you can actually do. So let's load up that other one. I think it was this one, which I think is very similar. And they're just kind of good examples of like how crazy you can kind of get if you really want to. Like, we go to deployment. It's like this guy's like actually sectioned off. So I think blue's minimum security, and he's got like medium security, max sec, staff only rooms, protected custody only, like all this sort of stuff. Like, so they can actually walk through these other areas, but they'll try not to. Like, because if they get caught there, they get in trouble basically. And you also see like this deployment scheduler. Like it looks like he's isn't set up with any bugs of it, but um, yeah, there's all these crazy like patrols sort of set up. Dog patrols, armed patrols. We're going to logistics. So you can actually see like the laundry is all coming, like going to those, and you can actually manually like assign places if you want. Like, get how to do it now. It's like this. I'm sure you could, but maybe you can't. Ah, there you go. You have to click on the laundry and then, and it will auto update. Like it'll kind of try to go, well, these are the best places we think. And if you hold down Shift, you can assign it to multiple places. Or you can just right click on the laundry and it'll kind of auto update, and it basically tries to figure out what places it thinks are the best to do. Same with food. Like you can see here, like this kitchen is giving to this canteen, and then these cells are going there, and it tries to estimate like the demand and the supply of food. So it does do that pretty well. And you can also see like this report, essentially. This is all the dangers, like all the things that could be brought in. And this is like in the last 24 hours, these are the things that were found. You can kind of actually see where they came from. So if you like mouse over like this saw, for example, you can see it was stolen from, apparently from the infirmary, which is a bit weird, but I mean, why not? And you always get heaps found along here, because this is like basically where stuff was delivered, and if you've got like guard dogs, they'll actually detect it and kind of say, whoa, whoa, calm down. But I think that's kind of about it. I mean, I don't know if there's too much else that I can really show you. Like, you can kind of see, you can kind of get an idea of how in-depth the game is already. And it's still in production sort of thing. They're still adding new things every month. So I think it's $30 on Steam at the moment, which honestly, like, it's one of those things, like, I think it's worth it because I've gotten so many hours out of the game. But I can definitely understand someone being like, oh, I don't know if I really want to spend that much. And especially if you're not into, like, you know, kind of building and planning sort of games. You'll see that is that someone is detected, or they think they've detected. These dogs have a chance of detecting underground tunnels if they're trying to dig their way out, because prisoners will dig their way out of your prison. So yeah, I think the $30 at the moment is a bit pricey if you're not sold on it. Like if you're like, oh, I don't know, like maybe. But it's always on sale. Like it's always on sale on Steam. It's regularly in the Humble Bundle. I would definitely recommend anyone that, you know, anyone that remotely enjoyed things like SimCity, or like maybe not SimCity, but you know, any sort of like planning and building sort of game, or like Dwarf Fortress even, I guess, to a certain extent. I would definitely recommend getting it. If you can get it on special, then great. I think you'll really enjoy it. There's definitely a lot to do, and the replayability is actually quite good. I really didn't think it would be that much fun to kind of have to remake prisons all the time. But it does get really enjoyable just because you're constantly trying to improve on what you screwed up last time. You're like, oh, last time I had like a really small common room and it was just shit, and I totally need to do that. Or like, oh man, I got the best like idea for how I'm gonna lay out my cells, and they're gonna be way better laid out, and you know I'm gonna have like wider hallways so that people can get through easier, stuff like that. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the little look at the game, and hopefully it's made some of you think about going and getting it. And yeah, that's about it. But if you liked the video, hit like. If you want to see more of these sort of stuff, hit subscribe. Post this sort of stuff up fairly regularly. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed, and as always, catch you later. Cheers.